Honestly, I just wanna lay your honesty. You give a piece but want all of me. That's not a deal like a bargain, G. If this is your first time here, hi. If you've been here, hey. Got all of that out the way. I mean, you feel me? You already know the deal. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I can't even talk. I have not been in front of the camera in like a minute. I hate that for me. I hate that for us. But we are on a journey to 1,000 subscribers. So tell your mother, tell your father, tell your friends, tell your uncle, tell your granny, tell the babies, because y'all is popping them out. Tell everybody to subscribe, okay? Yes. I got a little notebook because this is not about to be a 20-minute video. Y'all know I be chatting. We not giving that, okay? So I really wanted to get into the whole social anxiety due to quarantine. I want to talk about that because if y'all haven't noticed, little old me is literally like a little social butterfly, and as soon as quarantine started, like, it was a dub for me. Like, I was in a house. Like, I had moved back home. Girl, I was not outside. Like, I was no longer in Atlanta. I was with family. So, like, it was good because, like, my bond with my family got really stronger. But I wasn't leaving the house. Like, I only left the house to go grocery shopping. Bro. So, it was like, I don't know, like, being back in Atlanta, it was really rough for me in the beginning. Like, I'm easing out now. Like, I'm getting more comfortable being around people and, giving the girls what I give the girls. But before, it was literally freaking me out. Like, people were freaking me out. Like, girl, let's flash back to craziness, which was what? 2019, right? And 2019, no. It wasn't 20. Girl, we've been locked down so long. I don't even know where we are. What was that? No, 2020. Yes. 2020. Let me set the scene for you. It's March. End of March. Because my birthday is at the end of March. All of it, bitch's birthday is at the end of March. Well, my birthday is at the end of March. And I get laid off from my job. Then I make the decision that I'm not going to live where I want to live anymore. Like, I'm not going to live in Atlanta anymore, pay any bills, because I just lost my job and there's no reason to. And the world is obviously shutting down, so I'm going to go back home. And I call my parents and let them know. And then I go to my mom's. And I stay with my mom for a little bit. And, it's doing what it's doing. And then I go stay with my grandma. And, like, basically for the remainder of quarantine. And then I move back with my mom, and then I come back to Atlanta. So in that time, I had a lot of time for myself. Like, being in Atlanta and, like, being a part of the social life in Atlanta before I left, I never really had me time, because it was like I was going to work and then I was going out. I was going to work and I was going out. I was going to work and then I was going out. I mean, like, and I'm so serious. Like, I would have a shift at like 7 a.m. and I would get back home, like, from the club at like 6 a.m. and I would have an hour to leave and go to work. And we would be doing this consistently every day. Like, it was wild. So once I finally went home during quarantine, I was like, well, I'm going to use this time to, get to know myself, like, that's what, I feel like when you're by yourself or you're kind of secluded in one space, that's the only option you have to do is to get to know yourself. Like, what else are you doing? Like, it's inevitable. I feel like it's going to happen regardless. So that ended up happening. I ended up having a really, good relationship with myself. And then it got to the point where I had such a good relationship with myself. Like, I still do, but I became so self-indulged that, like, I didn't want to interact with nobody else. Like, was I texting people here and there? Yeah, but, like, I wasn't interested in anybody else because I literally fell in love with myself, like, on some shit. And I think everybody should at some point fall in love with themselves, but, like, I'm learning, and like I learned then, you feel me? too much of anything is not good for you. Even you. So too much of you is not good for you. Like, you need human interaction. Like, it's just healthy. Like, you need it. So I'm literally all in love with myself, and I don't want to interact with anybody else because, number one, I'm very much so stuck in the fact that people are dirty because of COVID. And like, it was just like, oh, I'm around my family and I'm good. So I moved back to Atlanta, and I realized that like interacting with people outside of my family was freaking me the fuck out. It was freaking me out. It was literally like making me really uncomfortable. Like, I've always been the girl that like will look you dead in your eye and talk to you and this, that, and the third. Girl, people were saying hi on the elevator and I could not look up to look at them. Like, I couldn't keep eye contact. Like, that's not heard of when, like, with me. You know, like, I wasn't even giving a hi. It was very much of a, I was pulling my phone out just so I didn't have to interact with people. I was making sure I turned my headphones all the way up. Like, I was doing everything to avoid any type of eye contact or any type of contact with people, and it was actually weird. And so, and don't get me wrong, like, if that's your personality, but that's not mine. Like, that's not natural to me. So being back immersed into the world, the fast pace, we not wearing masks, we won't wear some, we not social distancing, I'm gonna be breathing on the back of your neck at the grocery store. Like, girl, it was too much. It was overwhelming for me. So I had to realize that, like, whoa, I think you may have some social anxiety due to quarantine. Like, that's when it clicked for me when I got back. I thought I was fine when I was there because I was only interacting with people I was comfortable with. But once I had to start interacting with people that I didn't know, I realized that I was very uncomfortable socially. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. And I wasn't really interested in like, you know, keeping that vibe. So I had to literally like coach myself. Like, if that's one thing I can say in like my whole growth journey that, like, you know, I'm continuously on, is that I literally have to verbally coach myself through stuff. Like, so when I would leave my apartment, I would be like, okay, we're gonna walk down this hallway and don't put your head down. Don't put your head down. Like, even if it's nobody in the hallway, keep your head up. You know? Like, when we go on the elevator, if it's somebody in the elevator, say hi. You don't gotta look them in the eye right now, but say hi. You know? Like, if somebody's coming, don't try to hurry up and rush and go in the door. Like, wait for them to hold the door open. Like, and you might hear that and be like, girl, you was doing the most. And it's just like, no, I literally like lost all comfortability with interacting with other people. So I had to literally relearn and re-enter society in a way. And I know I'm not the only person that had to do that. I know I'm not. But just like me being a natural social butterfly, or just being a social butterfly like throughout my whole life, it was kind of like, what's not clicking, Steven? Like, that's what it was giving. Because I was just like, wait, this is a real life for me. Like, interacting with people was never something I had to think about because it was so natural, you know? Like, walking in a room and doing my thing, like, it was always so natural to me. It was always expected of me, so I just did it. So when you don't do that for a long time and then you come back and you try and, you know, go back like everything's regular, you realize like it's not regular. So let me, you know, let me scope the situation out basically, and let me see how I can help myself, you know. What's interesting though is, even though I realized that like, okay, you need to balance it and you need to go back outside and you want to do this, that, and the third, when I started, you know, like, okay, we're going to stop taking Ubers because there's a train station right up the street from me. Like, all right, go get on a train. Like, you know, like, because that was normal to me at a point, you know, like, go get on the train, go walk to the store. You don't need to Instacart everything. Like, you know, once I started immersing myself back in, that's the word I was looking for. Once I started immersing myself back into the world and into my community, it's making me realize that I don't want to be outside ever again. So it was wild. It was like, in one hand, you need to because it's healthy. And then on the other hand, I was like, but for why? Because every time I walk outside, I'm getting hackled and catcalled by somebody's uncle, cousin, son, or grandpa. And it was like aggressive. Because you got to understand, I'm not the only person that's immersing themselves back outside. So it was like, I would be walking around and I would be walking or going this place or doing that. And I just wouldn't feel safe because somebody was being mad aggressive. And it was just like, girl, like no matter how much of like an asshole I would be back, you know how we get when we like, yo, like what are you doing? What are you looking at? Like what's good? Like, you know, when we give that when the guys are doing what the guys are doing. And it's just like, no matter how much I gave that didn't make me feel more comfortable though, you know? Like that didn't make me feel okay. Cause like I lived a whole year without having to deal with that. I lived a whole year in a little safe bubble that I created for myself. So interacting with that again, it just made me feel so, like it got to the point where I would have to like I would be like outside and I would have to walk with my dad on the phone. And like when I would be walking past guys, I would have to like, yeah, dad, and nobody would say nothing to me. And it was blowing my mind because I was just like, that's so weird. And that's so unnecessary. Like, I'm sorry. I should not have to call my father and have these extra loud conversations with him just so y'all know I'm on the phone with a man and y'all don't try me. And I was just like, okay, I'm trying to immerse myself back, guys, but you guys are not making it any easier, and now I don't want to be out here. So it was just like a little tug of war, and I would literally like call my dad crying because I was just like, it doesn't feel natural to me, but like I don't want to be out there. Like I don't feel safe out there. It had everything to do with just being immersed in an aggressive environment and people being aggressive towards you when you didn't have to deal with that for a whole year. Even though that was happening, I kept taking my steps though. So like I kept making sure, you know, like, all right, you're in the elevator, say hi to this person and look them in the eye. Like I was taking my steps. I was, instead of, like I said, instead of going and getting in an Uber for everything, you can go get on the train. Like, you can get on the train. Like, instead of Instacart and girl, you can go to the grocery store. Go walk to the grocery store. Like, stop it. You know? So if you're still dealing with, like, social anxiety due to quarantine, or, I mean, I guess if you just have social anxiety generally, I would really just be kind with yourself. Like, don't immerse yourself in places where you know you're going to be overwhelmed. Or like, I know for a fact when I knew I was going to be in a place with other people, I would have like my crystals on me. I know I would pray. Like I've gotten in the habit of when I'm walking or I'm going places, like I be praying down on my way and on my way back. Just so like to give myself peace. I've been able to like get back to where I was pre-quarantine. I haven't been like out and about 24/7. But I have been able to, like, you know, when I go on dates or when I'm with my friends or whatever the case may be, or even if I'm just going to the grocery store, if I'm running errands, like, I'm not feeling, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I'm not feeling uncomfortable. I'm not feeling like I'm hyperventilating, like, you know. And if I do get a little nervous, like I said, I coach myself. I coach myself. I talk to myself so we can, because we still got to do what we got to do, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there just in case anybody was dealing with social anxiety, I guess in general, but especially due to quarantine and like you didn't deal with that before. It can definitely be like a mind, I'm trying to not cuss. It can definitely just kind of be like a game changer for you. So hopefully, now, I helped a little bit, you feel me? Gave y'all a little bit of insight, maybe got you thinking about how you're interacting with people now versus how you were interacting before. And if it's changed and it's a healthy change, then great. If it's changed and you don't really like it, well then, baby, get to work. Because I just want the best for the girls, alright? So yeah, that's that. Let me know what y'all are experiencing too. Like if y'all had anything that y'all realized like, damn, I got social anxiety too. And you did some different things to get you out of that funk or get you back to your normal space of being comfortable around people. Like leave it down below in the comments. Tell me what's going on. You know I like to chat with the girls. And yeah, that is it. That's all I have for y'all. So thanks for watching.
Inconclusive conclusion. You've been the drug that I've been overusing. I don't got time for the steady confusion. I don't know how mentally I'm abusive. It's so intrusive.